clock and bell tower in front of us, and the first time those bells rang was January 1st, 1900. So it, rang in the new millennium, which is really cool. And it was designed by E.J. Lennox, and he was the same guy who designed Casa Loma. Big castle in the middle of our city. E.J. Lennox was a guy who designed a lot of the historical buildings actually in Toronto, so he was a very well-known guy. His signature was the Romanesque architecture, Roman arches and pillars and whatnot, which you can see on Old City Hall as well.
Old City Hall. Space Street， 这我们走的嘛，不是马上就到了那个咖啡的地方。
再跟着转一圈啊，是吧？再站到那里。
你不要去看卡索吗？
对呀，我们光在这坐着。
对。到卡索那去看呢，你不是？
Now we're nearing closer to Old City Hall, and New City Hall is directly beside it. So on the left, it's actually tough to see from here because it's kind of behind it a little bit. But it's the white building to the left and behind. It's kind of two semicircle buildings with one large circle in between. Now, the guy who designed this was from Finland, and he said he would disclose the design ideas after it was finished. And then he passed away before it was done. So we actually have no real idea of what he meant it to mean. Some people say it's like two hands cradling the world, or an eye, or an alien spaceship. It's up to you what you think. What do you think, guys? Alien spaceship? Yes? I'd say so. Now we're heading down towards the heart of the city. We have the Toronto Eaton Centre coming up on the left-hand side. Largest shopping mall in the city, connected across to the bay on the right. Now, the bay here is Hudson's Bay Company. Very first corporation in Canada, started up in 1670. So that was a full 200 years before Canada itself became a country. So, not too bad, eh? And this was the mainstay of our economy back in the day. It was a fur trading post. Of course, a lot of Canada was established through the fur trade. Essentially, back in the day, if you had a beaver fur hat, you were high class. You were super cool if you had a beaver fur pelt or something. And of course, we don't rely on the fur trade anymore for our economy. And it's illegal to kill or skin a beaver. They're our favorite animal. They're on the back of the nickel, 5-cent coin as well. So the bay has become a large department store. This one in particular is about 7 floors, I think. It's massive. You can actually just get lost on one floor alone. It's really big. This is Canada's Macy's, if you need the comparison, yeah. We're at the intersection of Queen and Yonge, and this is one of the busiest in the city, of course. If you head up Yonge Street, you'll be walking along the Toronto Eaton Centre, right up to Dundas Square. Now again, we're on Queen Street, and it's named after our very favorite queen, Queen Victoria, who granted us our independence back in 1867. Now, we said thank you by naming absolutely everything after her. I kid you not, we have Queen Street, Victoria Street, Queen's Park, the building, Queen's Park, the street, Queen's Park, the subway station, Queen's Park, the building, Victoria College, Queen's University. Should I go on? Catch my drift? Yeah. Absolutely everything named after Queen Victoria in town. There's Victoria Street, see? Queen and Victoria are an intersection, which is very cool. Now, if you were with us earlier on, we did go down the Discovery. But we do have one more hospital in the downtown core beside us on the left, St. Michael's Hospital.
它就是这个151，那个是可以走到它这里。那就是这个边上。
Now, St. Michael's Hospital is pretty well known for their take on public health care. Now, in Canada, of course, we do have universal health care. So if you're a permanent resident, citizen, you get a health card, and you can walk into any hospital, doctor's office, and not have to worry about being turned away or anything like that. And, a lot of people in Canada don't have a health card. They're not a permanent resident, not a citizen, or they're homeless, tourist, so on and so forth. But St. Michael's will treat you regardless of this. And they've been given the nickname the Urban Angel because of this. So, yeah, the Urban Angel is St. Michael's Hospital. And we're heading down Church Street, yet another literally named street, as there's 11 churches, 3 cathedrals along this road. If you went back down the road, you'd find St. James, which we saw just briefly before. We have the Metropolitan United Church beside us on the left-hand side. Would be nice if they were playing the organ. They have one of the largest pipe organs in Canada inside. And so whenever it's played, you can actually hear it through any of the streets walking around. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a coalition of the Presbyterian and Methodist churches into one. Metropolitan United. Now, if you continued straight up this road, you can see a blue tunnel. That's Ryerson University campus, so you'd be right in the heart of the Ryerson University. That's one of the main universities we have in Toronto. There's quite a few actually in the downtown core. We saw University of Toronto. There's a lot of colleges as well, George Brown College, Seneca College. Now, Ryerson is one of many that has the campus spread out throughout the downtown core. It's really neat. There's buildings all over up there, all Ryerson University. Now, we're going to see St. Michael's Catholic Cathedral as well. It's just the building up here on our left-hand side. This was established back in the 1840s and established by the nuns of the hospital, actually. Of course, we just saw St. Mike's Hospital. And nowadays they're known for their boys' choir. There's a school across the road. Boys can attend from kindergarten to grade 12, begin the choir, and they perform internationally. They performed for the old Pope, for example. And they often perform at Massey Hall, which we're going to see very shortly. Massey Hall is just up on the left. If you can't see it yet, we're going to pass right beside it. It has black fire escapes and red bricks on the side. Pretty famous concert hall. It opened up in 1894, and Hart Massey wanted to honor his late son, so he funded the building, and he had a couple of requests. He said anyone who can afford to rent the building can. He didn't want to discriminate against any group. And his other rule was he didn't want any alcohol served in the building for 100 years. So we took that very literally. 101 years later, they opened a bar in the basement. So there it is on the left. See, Toronto District School Board is having their spring concert there. That's really cool, actually, for the kids. A lot of famous artists have performed there. It's said to be one of the best concert halls in the city, in Canada, in fact. Anyone heard of Neil Young? Yeah? Recorded his live album right at Massey Hall there, yeah. Now we're on the home stretch, back up to Dundas Square. We have the Toronto Eaton Centre, again on our left-hand side. And we're heading back to stop number 1. Now this is the end of my tour, and it'll be the beginning of my friend Mark's. If you enjoyed yourself, please let us know. We do accept any gratuity, whether it be tips or just a handshake. If you're really angry and want to punch someone in the face, Mark's your guy. Hopefully you don't come to that though. If you're sticking on, we're heading around in 10 minutes. If
坐
not,
在上面，我们下去。
不下去。